and welcome back to Gear Up, a Marnie on the Move podcast production and series where I, Marnie Salop, your host, review and talk about all kinds of gear from the worlds of running, triathlon, cycling, and wellness. All the things I love, from apparel to running shoes, cycling shoes, helmets, gear, the next big thing in red light therapy, infrared saunas, data, gadgets, watches, you name it. All the things I'm using. Today, I'm talking about the OG Cloudsurfer 2. I am a recreational, everyday, average runner, middle of the pack, age group triathlete, a passionate cyclist, and a wellness biohacker. I'm also a heel striker and really just out here having fun doing what I love. I've been at it for 2 decades with over 25 plus half marathons, 15 plus 70.3 Ironmans, 1 marathon, and 1 century. Unique to Gear Up and all of my running shoe and apparel reviews, I also talk about what it's like to run in these shoes off the bike, which is something I think a lot of triathletes should consider when training and racing in certain shoes. All right, let's get into the OG Cloudsurfer 2. First up, disclosures. OG sent me these shoes for review. They did not pay me for this review, nor have they seen the review. You are seeing it here first. All right, now, let's get into the OG Cloudsurfer 2 review. Before we talk about the OG Cloudsurfer 2, we have to talk about the OG Cloudsurfer and the OG On Cloudsurfer, right? So I happen to have that shoe right here. The OG Cloudsurfer was one of my favorite daily trainers from OG. I think it was the first shoe that they released without the speed board, which is a very hard, firm part of the midsole. And that was something I didn't always love about OG, but I still love their shoes and the design and the function. But anyway, back to the OG Cloudsurfer. So this was the first time that they did not have a speed plate in their running shoes. So the ride was a lot softer. It was just their Helion foam. And it's a great daily trainer. I really had a lot of fun. And as you can tell, my shoes are absolutely worn in. I definitely reviewed them here on the channel. What I liked about the original OG Cloudsurfer was that it was a very soft, cushiony ride. Not too cushiony. I mean, it's not a max cushion shoe, but it was definitely softer. It was more flexible. A lot of things about it that were new to the OG brand. I used it as a daily trainer, and it had a lot of great energy return and was just a good all-around shoe for logging miles. Now, let's talk about the OG Cloudsurfer 2, because it really feels like a different shoe. And that's not a bad thing, but it's definitely different. So you can see here, they kind of look similar. I mean, the uppers look similar, the laces are different, the sort of tongue is different, the outsole is a little different. But let's get into the OG Cloudsurfer 2. And here's what's new. In the OG Cloudsurfer 2, I would say overall, the upper is much firmer than the last one. There's not as much flexibility. They removed this tongue tab over here. So now it's just the upper. And new tongue design is definitely extra. Like, it's a very big tongue in this shoe, which I never really thought about before trying these shoes on. It doesn't bother me, but it's just a lot bigger. If it's hot out, it might not be a fun thing to have in your shoe. I also would say that the new OG Cloudsurfer 2 is a little bit heavier than the original OG On Cloudsurfer. There's no more tongue tab here. The upper is a dual-layered mesh for improved breathability, and the midsole has a little bit different of a variation in the CloudTec phase technology. This is the On CloudTec phase, and it's a little bit different from the original, and I'll get into that in the tech specs. The Cloudsurfer 2 is still a soft ride, but it's definitely firmer than the OG Cloudsurfer. The Cloudsurfer 2 is definitely a good daily trainer. They don't have an overly high stack or a max cushion, but they're just kind of on the edge, which I really like and appreciate in a shoe because I don't like over 40 stack. I kind of like a more minimalist shoe with definitely a firmer landing as long as it has high energy. The midsole is the signature On Helion foam, and that is for a smoother, sort of softer ride when you're running in these shoes. And I would say the running shoes fit true to size. I'm a 7.5. I often have to size up for race shoes, and I felt like the Cloudsurfer 2 had just enough room in the foot. It wasn't too wide, and it was perfect as a size 7.5. I wouldn't size up in these. As you know, over the past few months, I've been experiencing a sprained ankle, and so I've managed to run in some of my shoes, as well as ask other runners that are part of my Marnie on the Move network or ambassadors to kind of weigh in with their opinions if I only was able to get like 10 or 15 miles in a shoe. So with the On Cloudsurfer 2, I was able to log about 10 or 15 miles before getting PRP in my ankle. So I asked my friend Andia to try them yesterday at the gym and on the track, and she felt like these were much softer than the traditional Ons that she really loves running in. So she wasn't a big fan, but she felt like she would wear them to walk around the city or maybe do some fitness stuff at the gym. Nothing lifting heavy weights or anything, but just kind of like walking around. I mean, she definitely appreciated the design and felt like they were a good shoe, but just not for her and not for running. So for me, I would run in them. I would do daily miles. Definitely not my go-to daily trainer, but I think that's what they would be used for. Let's talk tech specs. The On Cloudsurfer 2 weighs 225 grams. There's a 9mm drop. The breathable mesh upper is designed for improved ventilation. There's an updated tongue construction, which we talked about earlier. Embroidered eyelets and overlays made use from recycled yarn. The midsole is designed with On's signature Helion Superfoam for soft cushioning and a smoother ride. The midsole also has On's signature refined CloudTec phase cushioning for a smoother ride, and the signature Helion Superfoam for soft cushioning. The outsole is durable for long-term wear. If you loved the On Cloudsurfer OG, the On Cloudsurfer 2 is definitely a different kind of shoe, although there are some similarities, but it's a much firmer, smoother, energy-infused ride. Less soft, tighter upper, a little heavier. The On Cloudsurfer 2, even without the speedboard, has a firm ride. Would I choose the original On Cloudsurfer over the new Cloudsurfer 2? I don't know. I kind of think I'm leaning towards the original On Cloudsurfer, but if you're looking for a good, solid daily trainer that has a little bit of a bounce, zippy, not too high of a cushion, not a big stack, you might love the On Cloudsurfer 2. It's definitely worth checking out. Hit me up in the comments if you are running in On, if you have tried this shoe, if you have a favorite daily trainer or favorite shoe by On. All right, over and out. See you next time on Gear Up. Also, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, hit me up in the comments, subscribe to the channel, all the things.